Jim, can you call?
Wait a minute, give me 1 second.
I don't see Rick.
He's there.
Okay.
I think he's at a concert. Oh, he's at, Rick's at the beach.
Yeah, I couldn't get the Metallica thing to work.
Jim, are you ready?
Oh.
What the hell is going on here?
Is screen on mirror?
What?
Said your virtual background, it could be on mirrored.
You're
Let's
standing
find
on
out.
a head.
Just keep it like that. I like it.
I like it.
Oh my Lord. How do I change this?
I think you should keep it like it.
I can't even look at you. Oh my
It's like
God.
Genie on Pee Wee's Playhouse, except upside down.
I like
Oh
the
my
one on
God.
the head look.
It's like the great and powerful Rick.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Turn your computer upside down.
I was about that.
Okay, I'm recording now, so we're good to go.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. Let's call the meeting to order. Jim, please call the roll.
Newman,
Here.
Cameron,
Here?
Rautenstrau,
Here.
Mylum,
Here.
Cook.
Here. All right, so similar from our last meeting, we'll go through the agenda. We'll go around the room, see how everybody's doing. And then we'll move into our formal session. First, how's everybody doing? Pretty good?
Good.
Good.
Can't complain.
Nice to see everybody. All right, let's go through the agenda. All right. On the minutes?
I'll take those.
All right, the bills.
I can take it.
Okay, just for a discussion. So, Bill, how can we get the council to sign these, the two liaisons?
I can have you in. We'll set you up in a room, social distance, keep everyone coming at a separate time. That's possible. Or we just have a big signing party in May. I mean, it's really going to be up to you. As long as we get them signed in a practical manner, I would think we have more time to get it done. But it's Dave and Tom, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can make again the room downstairs. We'll have it sterilized. We'll have them in separately. They can go through. I can answer questions. We have masks. We'll make it happen if they want to. Set up the time and we'll make it work.
Okay. So I know, so whatever works for the both of you guys. And I know we have some questions on the bills. Can we go through it real quick?
Sure, Ken. Before I forget, I sent the revenue and expense 2 weeks ago, and I only really updated after the beginning of the month. So
Okay.
trying to update it through half a month doesn't work. That's why I didn't resend it. And
Okay.
when you get the new software, it's going to be more of a financial statement format as opposed to that DOS-based look. So right now, we're just trying to make it work as best we can and try to keep the periods consistent with the full months, as
Okay.
opposed to partial weeks. So that's why that didn't go back out. You got the bills I did send. I'm sorry they didn't go out sooner. I thought they went and it hung up in my email, so I had to resend. But
Okay.
what question? Let's go with the questions.
Okay, so first One of the questions that I had was regarding the N95 mask.
Okay.
Now, it was 225, I believe it was.
That sounds right.
On some of the bills, you had indicated COVID. Why is this not marked COVID?
I haven't indicated. That's been the department heads doing that, or the secretaries. How we set this up when we first, right from the very first meeting for department heads and how we were going to handle the crisis, that the department heads were told that we would prefer to have the mayor approve everything before it goes, because our COVID line is actually part of the contingency fund, which is part of the mayor's lines. We kind of had that over there because we really wanted the day-to-day oversight, so we didn't buy something that wasn't related and could spike. So how we train the department heads, or how I thought I had, and I reiterated every department head meeting since, bring it in, bring it to the mayor, it comes to me, and I enter this COVID on the COVID code. And what seems to have happened now that I'm seeing some of these bills come through, and it's why I keep reiterating to the department heads, we had departments say, you just want me to hold them till the end and hand them to you then. And I'm like, no, I've been very consistent. If you want it to not be part of your budget line and you want it to come out of the actual COVID code, it has to be come through, get approved. I mean, we're not going to be silly about it, but they want to handle it that way so we can watch the funds. So some of these are the secretaries just kind of typing COVID on the line, and it's helpful. But that's what I've done then is I've called them up, reminded them of our policy, asked them to, still send it through. And what I've been doing is accumulating those, taking them into the mayor's office for approval, and then, still re-entering then and changing. So some of these, you'll notice the actual bills are coded to the department's lines because that's where they could put it themselves. They can't put it to the COVID line. So they're kind of learning as we go. So they still entered these bills and then decided they were COVID, and now I'm taking them to the mayor. If for some reason we don't think that it is truly a COVID line, it will stay in their expense line as part of their budget. Now, we haven't seen any abuse of that. It's been gloves, it's been Clorox, it's been things that we really need. So, we haven't seen anything that made us question, but we do really want them to bring it to us day by day, because we want it to be entered on the FEMA sheets and have Mr. Banks involved in it. So we're still trying to get him to do that.
So do you know what department ordered 1095?
Well, in that case, that was a purchase by Chief Stewart, and Kelly entered it herself, and it went through the system and got paid. Again, last Thursday I talked to Chief Stewart and I reiterated, because he said you just wanted to bring them all to you at the end, and I said, no, I've said every single week I need them at least weekly, preferably daily, as you spend. So again, we were trying to do that so the clerks in each department didn't just enter COVID and decide it's COVID. We wanted to be able to kind of keep that in, make sure that our emergency management coordinator was involved in everything. So this is still trying to get the department. So as we see it, we are addressing it. We are, bringing it out. And honestly, it's still in their department lines until we approve it. So, and we reiterate that with them every time too. If you buy it and don't tell us about it and enter it on the department line and then think we're just going to move it afterward, so we're training, we're kind of reteaching, and every department head meeting we have, we bring that back up and we have examples. It hasn't been much. You probably got almost all the ones that had that where they typed over COVID. I'm not going to go in and change what they type as a description line. But for the most part, it has been Clorox, and it has been masks and gloves, and the fire department buying N95 masks because they found them when you couldn't find them. It's pretty much they found them and they ordered them and they had an account there, and they put it on their budget line. So we probably will move that to the COVID line because they wouldn't buy them otherwise, not in that quantity. So, but that's kind of why you're seeing it go through.
I thought we had a surplus of N95 masks in-house, and that's why we donated some.
No, those are out of date.
Those were expired.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fire department wouldn't use them.
Okay.
And I honestly, I wouldn't want to have to answer to PERMA someday when I said, well, obviously the out of date part was the elastic and everything, but if they're not fit right, It's just
Right.
better to give them the proper mass than to try to say, well, they were free. So, we
Okay.
passed them on to people that would use everything and anything, and they were very appreciative of it. But
Can you also review the purchase for the salt barn, from Niagara Construction, the 26,000? That went
Okay.
out to bid, correct?
it did. There were 5 people that were asked to bid on it. I think 3 or 2 said no quote. 1 came back, they didn't respond, and then we got 2 price bids. And again, that was required by the insurance company. That was just a complete blowout of the rear wall on a older salt barn. But we had to get it fixed right away because if the salt got spoiled, that would be more expensive. So
So is this going to be on an insurance claim?
we received $12,000 from insurance on that. So the rest of it went against the DPW's budget because there were by adding the extra structural things, it's going to save salt in the future. So the way it was, there was two components that were just straight repair, and then as long as they were there were some additional gussets and things that would make the building last a lot longer. That was the DPW decision, and it came out of their budget. So we did receive $12,000 on insurance. That's indicative of our it's the 16 and change $5,000 deductible, and we got the rest. So really the city has to take the $5,000 deductible hit, and then the additional work that was done came right out of Joe's budget because he really wanted that building to be beefed up, so he didn't have to worry about losing the salt. If we had had some bad weather, we would have we probably would have lost as much on salt as we lost in the building.
So what was the total cost of that project?
I don't have it in front of me, but it was 26.
Was it 26?
26,130.
Yeah, I can get my email open and look at it.
That's what it states on your vouchers.
Right, and that was 16 and change for the repair of the blowout, and then when they were there, they had him go a little bit higher, a little farther with some additional bracing. So in the future, the constant pounding of the payloader wouldn't it added life to the building. So we're going to probably capitalize that, but right now we have it there. It's Joe's choice to do the work, and it was Joe's choice to use part of his budget for it. So.
Those were my big questions.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions on the bills?
One question about the washer and dryer, though. I did notice, I was incorrect when I said that Lowe's, in conversation, that Lowe's donated those, but apparently
They were awfully cheap, though. They were
they
$200
insisted
a
in
piece.
donating, or insisted in- so I don't know what they actually cost us.
It was $200 a unit. We got 2 washers, 2 dryers. So we have 2 at William Street and 2 at Wheeler Street. The hookups, I wasn't really aware of, Marks, but I understand why they wanted to get it hooked up correctly and get the piping run and the dryer exhaust. They purchased that in the beginning. They're using it for both fire department decon and police department decon. So if you get coughed on, if you have to change uniforms, we go up there and they can wash it right away. They have a shower unit set up in Wheeler Street. So, they always had washer and dryers at William Street, and they wore out over time. So replacing those, we got a great deal for a good size commercial machine for $200. It was almost a donation, and they delivered that. So, that was included in the price. It was a straight check for $800. And then Mark's Plumbing did the plumbing work to get the hookups, put up the new faucets that you need for the washers and so I'm going to kind of go a little farther into that and just see, but I believe they hooked up in both units. So I have to touch to it.
So is this cost getting put under a COVID line too, or no?
Well, again, they didn't send that to the mayor's office, so right now it's on their equipment line. The washer dryer, when we purchased that, because it was understood it was for emergency management, and all the departments could use it if they had a problem. That did go to the COVID line, so there's $800. It was the first $800 spent. But the Mark's Plumbing, right now, it's out of his budget until he brings it to the mayor and gets it approved. But I would imagine it will go through. I can't speak to what the mayor is going to do. So.
Anything else on the bills? Mayor, can you check with Joe to find out if our street sweepers reached the end of the life, or I know we had some repairs on it.
Well, that's why there was those repairs that were in the bills to be paid. So while our street sweeper was kind of under repair, we used the Bobcat with a brush on it, which all it did was push the dirt away from the sides of the curb. It didn't really suck it up. So it's something that we might need to look at a little further down the line.
Okay. Okay. Anybody have anything else? Okay. Who wants the bills?
I'll take them.
That was David, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I know we received an email from Joe that said he would be available via phone if we had any questions about, you know, the street paving project. Did anybody have any questions for him?
My only question is, are we going to be doing shared services with the town again this year? But that's not an immediate answer. It was just out of curiosity.
We have reached out to them.
And I think they kind of reduced their services to us last year. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so do you think, I mean, I would imagine they'll probably reduce again this year because everybody's hurting.
Right.
But-
Right. I mean, we're actually doing them a favor because, I mean, they didn't have enough work for their own people. So,
Yeah.
So the fact that we were using them was a huge bonus to them.
Okay, thanks. That's all I had.
Okay. Who wants resolution 3?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Okay, Sean. Okay. Resolution 4, bid award to Lafarge, North America. Who wants it?
I'll take that, Madam President.
Any questions on it? Okay. We're cruising here. Phase 9.
I'll
Questions?
take this one too.
Sean wants it. Anyone have any questions? Okay,
It's kind of getting to be running the mill now. We've done so many of these.
I know. All right, here's your bond resolution. Bill, do you want to just brief us on these?
More than I did last meeting, or I can go through each one. I mean,
Yeah.
the bond resolution number 6 is a pretty standard resolution we do every year. We don't generally spend it all. Again, if we don't spend it, we don't borrow it. In about a month, we're going to come to the council with our list of rescinded, so we can clean that up. So because there's some tail claims out there where we could borrow, but we haven't. And a lot of it has to do with the streets. So whatever Joe's projects are for this year, and the mayor can speak better to that, their estimate was it was going to be under this. We usually spend about 4 or 5 of this, possibly sometimes less depending on the weather. But we're pretty standard in authorizing the 700. So that's the first resolution, resolution 6.
And the majority of that's CHIP money, correct?
Right, and the CHIP money is a whole nother animal. So this is just like last year we went through and cleaned up Elgin and the skateboard parking lot. You know, that was a good amount of money. So this is the streets that don't fall under the CHIPs. If we have to do our own work, if we're doing a street. So that's my understanding. The resolution number 7, we authorize so much sidewalk work. I'm sorry, did you have more on 6?
No.
Okay. Okay, and excuse the camera profile, but I'm trying to read on the monitor. So, the 7 is what we usually authorize for sidewalk repair. CHIPS covers
Wait.
the.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
Who wanted number 6?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Okay. All right. Now you're up, Bill.
All right, 7 is our sidewalks. Again, we don't generally spend all of it. We try to do as much as we can every year. Again, depends on weather, but the CHIPS covers the corners, the handicapped sections down to the street. This is the money that we use to redo actual sidewalks when we have complaints from consumer or taxpayers. When we know we have to fix a section, this is the money that gets spent there. So, we don't always spend all of it, but 130, we do quite a few sidewalks every year, and that's pretty common. So, the questions on 7?
Sean, did you reach out to Jason? Did you get a response on the sidewalks?
I didn't. Most of my questions were answered. I looked back at other notes that I've had from previous years. I mean, it's all in line. Bill explained it to me with the chips and how much we actually spend. So
Yeah.
I didn't really have any further questions to look up with it.
If we found other ways to handle sidewalks, again, we're not actually borrowing the money. It's not on our credit. We don't owe it so when they actually move forward and authorize the projects and such, but this is how we have to get it in. So if we do need to go ahead and do the sidewalks, it's just authorized and we can borrow for it. So there's still time to look at it. Okay. Who's taking 7 if there's no other?
Did anyone have any questions?
I can take it, Madam
Okay, who
President.
wants 7? Don?
Okay. Okay. 8 was they kind of watered it down. I had more detail last week, but I believe that's for the truck.
The boiler.
The boiler. That's the boiler. The 79. I'm sorry. Because we had the 2 projects at DPW, the boiler, and we also had the couple vehicles. So that's the boiler. Again, there's a problem. We have an inefficient boiler there now. They've done well with other city buildings. They've looked at this. It was approved in last year's capital budget. If they do move ahead with this, if we decide that we can do it, we're just authorizing that now. So.
Okay, any questions on it? Just as a reminder on the bonds, we need 4 votes. Any questions on it? All right, who wants to take it?
I'll take it.
That's Sean.
John?
Thank you.
On resolution 9, that was the vehicles. So there's again, last week I had probably more detail, but here we have a push tractor for pushing the leaves and such. We have a truck back that we need to replace. I think it's a salt body. And then there was some other small equipment in there that to kind of an emergency we can get some stuff. But right now the 2 big things are the tractor and the salt body, I believe.
Okay.
I can
I'll
take
take
it, Madam.
Dave?
Doesn't matter.
Dawn,
I can take it, that's fine.
So 10?
Number 10.
Number 10 is the other side of the fire department for the air conditioning. So last year we bonded and did one side of William Street. And this is the other side. So it's kind of, they're 2 smaller amounts, but in whole we're spending $62,000 replacing the air conditioner on William Street. We just split it into 2 years.
Any questions?
I'll take this one,
Who
Madam
wants
President. I'll take it, Madam President.
Okay. Eleven.
11. We had this is the one they had. So we're talking fencing, new fencing at our ball fields on East Niagara, new lighting. Again, that that we save money on the electric and everything, but the thing is, I guess they just need to kind of reinvigorate that. We had some vehicles there, another tractor to do the lawns, and some of the maintenance work, and I believe there was a small pickup in there, but I just have those scribble notes. And then the last thing that was important in that is there was a pump out that would go into our harbor, and instead of having to have the harbor master charge the people, there would actually be a vending associated with it, so the boats could actually just go there, pay without having to look for the harbor master, and have their boat pumped out. So it's upgrading a piece of equipment that no longer is working well, and it also is going to take some work off the or the harbor master to make sure that we're able to have boats be able to use that service when they can't find the harbor master. So it should be a help for everybody in that respect. And then again, we're just bonding for that because it's got a long life and all. So.
So, Bill, it's an actual machine that they want to put in at the harbor?
Yeah, I think of a big shop vac for poop. So.
Okay.
I guess that's how it was explained to me. I mean, that's basically, you're talking a commercial unit that goes to a sanitary hold. But the key difference between the one we have there now that's wore out is it will have an interface for the customer so they can utilize credit cards or insert cash, and they won't have to find the harbor master and have it worked out that way. So it sounds like it'd be very useful, and again, that way more people might use it. And that should raise a little bit of revenue to help offset the cost of the machine. So.
Okay, thank you.
I don't believe NT has a pump out. I think we're the only one in the harbor that actually has one.
I would believe it. I don't know if their new build has it or not.
I don't know either. They've really a big bathroom, but
no, the bathrooms are, they just put the showers in last summer, and the little bathroom got enlarged, but I don't think they put a pump out in.
I don't think they do either.
So,
All right, any questions on that?
nope.
All right, if no one objects, I'd like to take it.
Sure.
Everybody go with that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, 12. This is something we talked about before, but it's just the dock expansion. And again, I believe we have grants to cover that, but we have to still authorize and bond the spend. So.
Excuse me for a moment.
Any questions on that?
I'll take it if it's okay.
Perfect. $15.
Okay, this is we're having some issues with our pumps. We had one rebuilt last year to the tune of about $45,000. We're rebuilding another one this year to the tune of 45, and that's going to go through the sewer budget. But this is actually a large purchase for a brand new pump. It's going to be our lead pump, and it's the only way to keep up with the because we have to push it all the way from City Hall to the wastewater plant on Fire Tower. So we usually the new pump will be able to do a much better job as a lead pump. The newly rebuilt pump from last year will be the backup, and then the one they're going to rebuild will step in line after. But So out of the 3 pumps, we're replacing one and we're rebuilding. We rebuilt one, we're rebuilding another, and this is the replacement. So this is the cost of what a replacement pump will be out of the 3 pumps in our pump house. So.
Who wants it?
I'll take it, Madam
I'll take it.
President.
Newman? Anyone have any questions? All right. We don't have any executives. All right, let's go around the room. Mr. Newman,
I don't really have anything. It's been relatively quiet.
John?
Just a couple of things. Jason Knight had reached out to us in regards to the LDC moving forward, guys, with the downtown redevelopment. They just want the council's blessing to move forward on this. I know we had Eric into one of our meetings. To my knowledge, he has not reached out to Jason to give him any updates. Essentially what they want to do is they want to prevent any new businesses from coming in, kind of like Hoppy's tree service that's down there on our main street, and cleaning it up a little bit, you know, make it a little bit more friendly for residents moving or coming into the city. So he just wanted me to touch on that real quick to get your thoughts on that. If you have any, I can take it back to him. Any questions?
How
Go
how
ahead,
far
Sean.
out are they with finishing the LDC? Is there more to it, or much more to go?
Well, the LDC, they want to move forward with it, meaning that they want it to be its own entity.
Right. But I mean, are they already in the
They've got their
process of doing it? Is it
50C3.
formalized yet?
Yes, so they have all of that. However, it's not going to cost the city any additional funding. He just needs to have the council's approval to move forward with on their end. He's only got 8 months left on his term before the LDC decides to hire somebody else in his place.
I think we can round back with the mayor just so we're not duplicating services to see what Eric's done. And I know we spent some money with Clark Patterson Lee on zone rezoning.
Okay.
So let's follow up on that.
Okay,
I
I can send an email out to Eric as well.
Yeah, I mean, we,
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. I think in essence, what they're wanting to do is to look at a rezoning of our downtown central business district to prevent, you know, like a Hoppy tree service and the auto place that's on the corner of Broad and Main, you know, from going in. So they want to look at possibly redoing the whole downtown zoning to, you know, kind of prevent those businesses from popping up in our major in our downtown business district. So
Yeah,
Did
he
we-
did send, whoops, sorry, John, go ahead.
Mayor, did we pay Clark Patterson Lee money to do that assessment?
not that. They were looking at the waterfront mixed use. They were looking at one other thing, but the one thing that they weren't tasked with was the central business district, because the idea all along was to let the LDC kind of handle that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just looks like, I was just kind of breezing over an email that he had sent out to myself and Jenna. There's about 150 parcels that they are looking at to have rezoned in the downtown. It looks like he agreed to do a walkthrough with Clark Patterson as well. So I mean, if we want to move forward with that to make it a little bit more friendlier so that we don't have commercial businesses in the downtown district, you know, and it's not costing any additional funds. They're not coming to the council asking for additional funds. They're going to use what they have out of theirs. You know, I think we should probably move forward and let him start his process.
And they're not going to ask for additional funds in the future, they're not,
Not pertaining to this, no.
and they're only looking at Main Street and the business district.
I will ask him for a map. It looks like he has prepared one for the city, so I will send him an email, see if he can send that map over and I can forward it on to you guys. Because it does
Okay.
appear that it looks like we've also got some properties that are zoned residential and commercial at the same time. There was a pizza shop on Fletcher and Franklin that has a, you know, on the house it's split, half of it is residential and a portion of it is commercial. So that's the other thing that he's touching on as well in this email. I'll forward it to you guys so you can see it and you can read it as well. And then if you have questions, you know, you can reach back to me and then I can go ahead and forward them to him.
Okay. Anything else?
Just the other thing, Mayor, how are we doing with Gateway Harbor? Are we moving along pretty well over there?
Yeah, we pretty much completed our work. Now, Star White House, and the Ralph Wilson folks are pretty much going to be handed the baton, and they're going to do their thing. So,
Okay. All right, that's all I have.
All right, perfect. Sean?
I have nothing really to report. It's been quiet in my area. I've been out walking around with the kids when I can and talking to some neighbors, and everybody's being socially distant and keeping inside and keeping safe. So some questions that were answered already. I had a couple questions about the street cleaner, if it's been out yet, and Rick answered that question already, and that was really about it.
All right, perfect. Dave?
Nothing too major. I just had a quick question, just for the good of the order. We've been keeping track of, you know, the cost that the city has incurred for this virus thing since it's began. And are we going to be seeking any government funds or grants or anything to help offset that? I'm just kind of looking ahead to, you know, budget season is going to be here very soon. And I'm kind of, you know, just kind of thinking where we will be and what kind of measures we may need to take. Is there any sort of report that we can have, or?
So, well, and I didn't mean to interrupt, Mayor, if you were chiming in, but there was an article in the paper that part of the stimulus package would go to municipalities that had a population of 500,000. So, Mayor, that was not part of this stimulus package, the second round, right?
no, the first stimulus package dealt with cities above 500,000. This one that was voted down, well, actually, the Republicans in the Senate asked to have that provision removed and voted on a later date. So the stimulus package that the Senate approved today that went to the House does not have the monies to states and to municipalities less than 500,000 people. Under that proposal, we would have received $788,000 from the federal government for budget shortfalls, loss of tax revenue, things of that nature. So it'll be curious to see, A, if the House wants that put back in there, or B, if if and when it will be part of another stimulus package that Congress kind of floats in the future.
Thank you for that. Any word on Spalding? Is that moving forward?
Yes, that is moving forward. Their attorney and our city attorney are going back and forth, and hopefully we'll dot the i's and cross the t's here very soon.
And I'm expecting any additional word from Little League.
Yeah, everything's been put on hold with the approval processes and stuff like that at the county and the state level. So we're kind of in a holding pattern, unfortunately.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Dave. Mayor?
The only thing I have to add other than the email that I sent to you guys is that I told Mandy to cancel all pavilion rentals through the end of May. And we'll make a determination probably the first week in May once we get new guidance from the governor. He's been pretty good about issuing new guidance well on ahead of time of when the state's state of emergency expires. So we're kind of monitoring that and seeing where to go from that point as far as canceling shelter rentals. We really don't have any in the month of May. They really start up in earnest in June, so we're kind of holding off on that. I have a feeling that we'll be canceling them, but again, just waiting on guidance from the governor as far as moving forward. What the state guidelines are going to be for mass gatherings, etc. And that's it.
All right, perfect. And our state of emergency is in effect until at least May 15th, right?
Yeah, it's in effect till May 15th. So.
Okay. All right, perfect. Anybody have anything else? All right, then let's, oh, bless you.
Thank you. I thought I was muted. I'm sorry.
Let's move forward to our formal meeting. All right, call the meeting in the City of Tonawanda Council to order. Please call the roll.
Newman,
Here.
Kimmerdiner,
Here.
Rautenstrau,
Here.
Mylum,
Here.
Cook.
Sure. I'd ask that our city clerk lead us in our pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
United States of
America,
and to
to the republic for which it
which it
stands,
stands, one nation,
One name.
under
under
God,
God,
Under God.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We had a prayer sent to us by William Miles, and I just wanted to read it. Heavenly Father, we are in difficult times. Families are separated from their loved ones. Senior citizens are dying at alarming rates. COVID-19 is the new cancer taking the lives of our citizens. The normal that we are used to is not normal anymore. Even our council must meet through electronic means to help prevent this pandemic. But nobody can prevent you, Lord God, from being a part of our lives. We humbly bow before you and ask your protecting hand upon our city. Wrap your loving arms around our citizens, this council, our department heads, our mayor, and especially our police and fire departments and our first responders. Keep us out of harm's way, and if for some reason this virus finds its way to one of us, we ask for your comfort and care to restore us to good health. Tonight, I ask your blessings on Jenna as she leads this meeting and upon all those in attendance. Guide and direct their decisions. And before our conclusion, let's pause for a moment of silent prayer in memory of our beloved 103-year-old veteran, Anna Mae Jones, who passed away this week. Rest in peace, dear friend. We ask all of these blessings in the name of your Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Amen. So if we may have a moment of silence in memory of Anna Mae Jones. All right, thank you. All right, bid openings are communications from the mayor have been ordered and filed. Communications from city officials and correspondents have also been ordered and filed. We'll now take comments by the public on the resolutions. Please state your name and address for the record. Sean, I'll just ask if you could unmute any residents in attendance. Any comments or questions on the resolutions?
Doesn't look like there are any.
All right, let's roll.
Resolution number 1 by Councilmember Newman.
Do we have a second?
I'll second to Madam President.
Second by Ms. Camerediner. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Camerediner.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 2 by Councilmember Mylum.
Do we have a second? Second,
Madam President.
was that Sean? I'm sorry. Tom, was that you?
No.
Tom? Okay. All right, second by Mr. Newman. Comments, questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Camerediner.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 3 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Second by Ms. Cameron. Comments, questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Camerediner.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 4 by Councilmember Newman.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that, Mrs.
Second
Council
by
President.
Mr. Mylum. Sorry, Dave beat you to the punch. Any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Camerediner.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 5 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Second by Ms. Camerediner. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Camerediner.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 6 by Councilmember Newman.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Mallon. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Camerediner.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 7 by Councilmember Camerediner.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Rautenstrau. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Cameron
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 8 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take
I'll
it,
take
Madam
it.
President.
Oh. Okay, second by Councilmember Cameron. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Cameron
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 9 by Councilmember Cameron.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that one.
Second by Mr. Armstrong. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Cameron
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 10 by Councilmember Newman.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it,
take
Madam
it.
President.
Second by Ms. Cameron. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Cameron
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 11 by Council President Cook.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Second by Ms. Cameron. Comments, questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Cameron
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 12 by Councilmember Mylum.
Do we have a second? I'll second. Oh,
Got 3 of them.
okay. All right, second by Mr. Newman. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Cameron
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 13 by Councilmember Newman.
Do we have a second?
I'll second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Rounstrau. Comments, questions?
Newman,
Aye.
Cameron
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Okay, at this time, we'll now take comments by the public following the resolutions. Please state your name and address for the record. All right, Mr. Newman.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to thank all of our first responders for all their dedicated service. This is a dire time. Everybody is stressing, and it's they're on the forefront dealing with all this. So I want to thank them. I also want to thank the fire department for their efforts in keeping the sanity. doing their little, I don't want to call them parades, but they do a drive-by for the kids. And you really enjoy it, and it means a lot to them, and they're tied up in the house as well. So they don't do a lot of things. They don't even understand what is going on out there. So I want to thank them. It does mean a lot to them. And stay safe, stay healthy, and stay strong. That's all I have. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Tom.
Hopefully you heard all of that this time.
Jim, did you get all that?
No, I did not. We'll have to, Tom will have to email, like he did at the last meeting. Tom, if you could just email me that, your comments, and I will add them and incorporate them into the minutes of the meeting.
Did anybody hear any of that? Good Lord.
I heard for the kids. I heard sanity and for the kids.
It was crystal clear for me. I made it out. I don't know. I heard it.
Okay. I'll email it. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. Ms. Camerediner?
I too want to thank all of our first responders, not only them, but our grocery workers that are standing in line every day. I've gone out. I'm the designated shopper in my house. I give those guys a lot of credit. They deal with a lot on a daily basis with customers coming in screaming because, they're out of toilet paper. So I do give them a lot of credit. I just want people to realize the severity of this situation that we are currently in. Wear your face masks. Just be cautious. You got to live your lives. I understand that, but give it time. Everything will die back down, hopefully, for us to move forward. That's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you, Ms. Camerediner. Mr. Rounstrau?
Clearly echo the same sentiments. Thanks to our first responders here, our DPW, and everybody that's working. I know we're on a lighter staff as demanded by our governor, and looking around, getting out there, I see things are getting done, and it's great to see. Our first responders, our police are doing a great job, and as Don said, it's great when you come around and the people that are out there at the grocery stores and everywhere else, being on the front lines of this. Thank you to all of them. And perhaps maybe time to start calling up green light networks to see if we can get some more options for our internet, as we see Tom's having a little trouble there. So it might be a good time to start reaching out to them again. So I'll be doing that. Beyond that, that's all I have. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Rounstrau. Mr. Milam?
Without sounding too redundant, it is nice to see what's going on with the fire police departments, providing the parades for the kids. It's something that I think is very unusual, but the kids will definitely remember it, and hopefully they'll be able to remember something positive about this time, and kind of learn what community is all about. I would also like to give a big shout out to the teachers in the city of Tonawanda who have had to basically flip their method of teaching on its ear within a couple of weeks. And yesterday was the first day they started delivering new curricular materials to the kids instead of review, and they're doing a fantastic job. So as much as the kids are still being required to do work at home, there's a lot going on with on the other end to deliver that content to the kids. So they deserve a pat on the back as well. And to echo what Dawn said, I think right now an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Just tell people to please still be patient. No soccer game, can of paint, or bag of chips is worth getting sick over and potentially starting this whole thing over again. So just want people to be safe, be healthy, and know that if they do need anything, that all of us are here for them. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Mylum. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. After the meeting tonight, we'll be starting a GoFundMe page for Tom to pull the plug on AOL dial-up internet. Hashtag Save Tom Newman will be the will be on Twitter. You can follow it. You can give. On a more serious note, being out and about, seeing people in masks at some places and seeing people not in masks at other places, really upsets me. I don't think any of us like being cooped up. I don't think any of us like wearing the face masks or not being able to do the things that we're accustomed to doing. And I just say that the more people that follow the guidelines, I think the better off we'll all be in the end, and the sooner we can get back to, maybe not the way things used to be, but certainly a lot better than what we're currently dealing with. I posted information on social media about the antibody tests, and I had a few local area businesses, and they burned through their supply already. There was a high demand for them, so hopefully our state can get their hands on some more antibody tests, and we can get a better hold on some of the unknown information that's out there concerning this virus. And so people like ourselves can make informed decisions for the residents' well-being moving forward. And last but certainly not least, I hope everybody's family stays safe. For those in our city that have contracted the virus and that are in the hospital, our thoughts and prayers are with you. And we hope that every single one of them makes a speedy recovery. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. It's great seeing you guys. It's hard to do this from the comfort of our own homes. Shout out to Bill. He didn't even move, but his backdrop changed from our caucus room to the courtroom. So that was nice. I caught that real quick. Without sounding redundant, I want to thank our first responders, our city employees, all of our elected officials, all of our residents in our community who have certainly stepped up to the plate and checked on everyone. I think when this moment in time goes in our history books, I hope part of the reflection will be how our city responded to this and how we each gave unwavering support to one another. It's very comforting to see, neighbors helping neighbors in this time of need. And as the mayor said, we're keeping everybody in our thoughts and prayers. I have the privilege for working for a healthcare system. Unfortunately, I see the positive numbers that come through in our community and for our county. We haven't reached our peak yet, they're saying, but we certainly have to practice social distancing, and we have to do our small part in this. So I wish you and your families well. And with that said, I'll make a motion to adjourn until May 5th. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Madam President.
Seconded by Mr. Rounstraw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, take care, everybody.
Bye,
Be
guys.
safe.
Take care. Be safe.
Nicely done, everyone.
Nicely done.
You as well, sir.
Thank you.